Hi everyone, it is the Tuesday after the President's Day weekend. I have to think, is this right? Yes, that's right. Okay, first of all, let me apologize for the quality of this video. You see, the sun is beaming into my eyes, my face is covered in shadows, and frankly, there's nothing I can do about it. Sorry to be so inconsiderate, but here's the story. I just moved into a new old house, as it were, and the carpenters are here today, and they're downstairs building my bookshelves, and later on in the day, they're going to put wall-to-wall bookshelves in this room. And so I don't have very many choices about where I talk to you. So I'm sorry about that. That's just the breaks of the game. Okay, now, all that, the apology made. I want to talk about the end of the semester. We have 2 more weeks in the semester, and as your prof, I'm really committed to having stress-free semester ends. As a student, I absolutely hated staying up all night, drinking gallons of coffee and all that stuff. And when I was a student and a graduate student, I swore to myself, if I was ever a teacher, I was not going to subject my students to that. So I'm not subjecting you to those kinds of pressures. Now, I mean 2 things by that. Sorry to pause, I'm sort of ordering this in my mind. The first is this. If you're starting to feel stressed for any reason, just text me or email me. I probably look at rshoemaker3@gmail.com more often, and I certainly look at my text messages the most often. So that's the best way to contact me. And let me assure you that no matter how, precarious, shall I say, your situation seems, I can help you, okay? I'm a really good unblocker of writer's block. Often things that seem impossible to a student, I can, fix, alleviate in like 2 seconds. So trust me here, contact me. That's really the best. Okay, so the other thing is there's typical common problems that cause stress, and this is what I'm going to talk about in the next 10 minutes. Okay, so contact me and heed my little warnings and messages. Okay, they're very important, and they will save you wear and tear. Now, I wanted to make a very, very firm commitment to the people in this class who are deployed. I know there are a lot of people in this class who are deployed in really difficult areas. Now, if you have trouble finding a cultural experience, if you have trouble with submissions, if you have trouble, for whatever reason, please contact me. Contact me as quickly as you can, and I will work with you. If there are mission issues that make it difficult for you to finish the class on time, I will give you more time. It's not a big deal. The other thing that I want, so that's you deployed people. I understand. I worked for the University of Maryland for 20 plus years. In Europe, I have been downrange myself. I know exactly how demanding that world is, and you have my full and complete support, and admiration. Okay. Now, I wanted to move on to a couple of other things that tend to give people problems, and because there's a 15-minute limit on these videos, I want to keep it under 15 minutes. Also, they get too boring if they go longer. And once again, I see myself, I'm dodging the sun here. I know it's, kind of uncomfortable for you, but so there's no alternative right now. Okay, so with the cultural experiences, now I want to say a couple of things about those. First, if you want to repurpose your cultural experience 1 and use it again from a different perspective, that's fine with me. If you went to the National Gallery and wrote about seeing the French Impressionists and want to do another cultural experience about the National Gallery, that is absolutely okay. You do not have to go back to the place. Okay. The other thing is something I've said a couple of times, and that is, we have a really open. I have a really open definition of cultural experience. As far as I'm concerned, it can be going to your local flea market, looking at a guitar, listening to a guitarist or a singer, or a place where they sell tie-dye stuff and sing folk songs. I don't care what it is. The important thing in the cultural experience is that you're thinking about the meaning of the thing. Okay? And if you have any questions about whether something is appropriate, come to me, not only for the approval, but I will help you use it. Okay? So now that's my fifth point, I think. The sixth thing that I wanted to say is this. When you're writing either your cultural experiences or your final project, you understand where I'm coming from. I want to see personality. I want to see creativity. Frankly, everyone, I'm not so worried about, as long as your grammar is in ballpark region, I'm not going to be vindictive, let me put it like that. It's my job to, in terms of the detail and the mechanics, it's my job to show you where you need some work. Okay, but in terms of the overall grade and the sense of your writing, I'm really lenient about that. Frankly, as long as your writing is clear, that's basically fine with me. And at the very worst, I might have you correct the grammar. Okay, but the fact is that the students in this class write very well. There's not a single paper that I've gotten all semester that is, a contorted, sea of red type paper. Okay, how should I say? Most of the papers, let me put it like this, are really well written, and you'll notice that kind of check my my track changes on your papers. How many times do I criticize your writing? Do I sort of constructive criticism about your writing? Not very much. Okay, which means you're doing a good job. Okay, so I want to see personality. I want to see autobiography. I want to see references to the things that you've done. I want to see references to people that you've done things with, to your family, to your pets, and I want you really to bring things alive to life. You can't, here, let me put it like this, you can't ham it up too much with me. I really want to, I see this as like almost a creative writing class, in that direction. Anyway, I'm going to come back to this in a second. I might make a second video about this. Okay, so finally, the other thing I want to say, which is really important, and I know this is difficult, be sure, especially on the final project, that you narrow the scope of the paper. I'm looking at my time here. You narrow the scope of your paper. Okay, what do I mean by that? I mean that if you're going to write about quote-unquote weather, that you don't, please everyone, don't, I've written this on your paper, so everyone knows this already, but let me say it again. Don't write about the weather in general. It's impossible. You're writing a 4-page paper, and you can't cover the weather everywhere in the world. Okay, so you've got to narrow it in several ways. First of all, geographically, focus on one geographical area, one type of weather, and a specific meaning that weather has. And then once you've created this lens for yourself, then you can plug in your examples of it. Okay, so that's in terms of the narrowing. Also, people are writing on gratitude, anxiety, and things like that. The same thing. Don't try to write a philosophical paper on anxiety. That would be fine. I don't know, if you were writing a 40-page senior thesis, that would be great. But for the purposes of this class, you need to focus. And so you're writing on gratitude, we'll say. Make sure it's gratitude at a certain place and a certain time. And I would highly suggest that you just do it in your own life. And for all the semester reports, I would write them as autobiographical papers. Now, I don't require that. I mean, you can open up that scope a little bit, but it's a lot easier to write, quite frankly. And by the same token, writing in the first person is fine with me. The same if you were writing a paper on anxiety. I would write on my own anxiety. I would do it to show you how to organize this. Okay, let's say you decide to write an anxiety. I would focus it in two ways. I would do not anxiety in general, but my anxiety. Here, I've got one for you. Do my anxiety as a parent, my anxiety as a parent with 4-year-old children. Okay, and then I would show like 3 examples or three forms that my anxiety takes, and so it'd be a great paper. And make sure you localize it. That is to say, you focus on it. In my case, do the anxiety that I felt traveling with my kids in somewhat dangerous areas when they were 4 and being in the Middle East. Okay, and I would just focus on that, not anxiety in general, not anxiety, at all places and all times, but something that you know really well. Have fun with this. Strive for an upbeat tone. Use a cover sheet, please. On the cover sheet, do a title. Don't say, semester project, but give it a title that reflects the thesis. Put an image there that also reflects the thesis. If you need help on that, here, that's what I'm here for. Don't hesitate to contact me. The magic numbers in this class are 301-728-5175. Those of you who are deployed that can't do that so easily, just email me and I'll get right back to you. Basically, for the next 2 weeks, I have nothing to do except work with you guys. I look forward to the end of the course. Here, let me sort of say something really quickly. The way we'll do this is when the fateful Sunday of week 8 comes along, I don't lock you out of the course. I know because of time zone issues, especially in this large class where people are all over the world. And so many of you are in Europe. Some of you are deployed, in more or less Europe, beyond Europe. It's highly likely that you're going to need an extra 36 hours. Okay, so you can have a little bit of extra time. If it looks like it's going to be more than, so let's just say 24 hours, contact me and I will make sure that we understand how we're going to end the class. Once again, you're not going to get locked out of the class. Okay, and neither am I going to start with penalties and stuff like that. It's where, in humanity classes, we're way above that level. Okay, so contact me. It's been great reading your papers. It is great to read your papers. You're just a tremendous group of people to work with. Thank you so much for doing these cultural experiences. I'm just in awe of all the places you have been, other than New York City and snowstorm. I don't go anywhere except Maryland. Okay? Until the summer when I'm going to India for 2 years. Okay, talk to you soon, everyone. Thank you.